Boris Schlossberg, Managing Director at BK Asset Management.
BK Asset Management's Kathy Lien.
Boris Schlossberg.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. I'm just centering my screen. Good morning and welcome to the month of March. I would like to do a sound check, everyone, first. If you can hear my voice and you can see me, say hello, good morning, and let me know that everything is working well with a thumbs up, please. Okay, thank you, Miguel, Cheryl, Anwar, Andrew, our regular crew. There's so much to talk about today. I just want to, make sure everything's good to go. Good morning. So yes, there is so much to talk about today. I feel like as traders, Sunday is the day where, we have to start being on the ball, where we have to start, making sure we're aware of, what's going on in the markets, because, President Trump loves to make these big announcements on Sunday. So, this is, something that we saw him do in his first term. He's doing it again. He loves to do things, before or after market hours, usually more in the evening than in the morning, because, probably his meetings are over and he's got the time to tweet, whereas the morning he's probably getting ready for all the stuff that's happening in the morning. But overall, this really busy trading week has kicked off with, a really huge announcement over the weekend. Not so much for what we trade, but a little bit for what, Boris trades and some of you are interested in, which is the Crypto Reserve Fund. This is something that, he'd been talking about since the very beginning of his presidency, his second term, that he wanted to make. And even I think during his campaign, he said he wanted to make America the crypto capital of the world. Now, the big difference here is that he used the word reserve instead of stockpile, which is what he had said previously. And so, this was a pretty big news. It sent crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana skyrocketing. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is, of course, the opportunity that it provides for, the asset as a whole, those coins in the future. I think this is the beginning of what should be a more significant rally in crypto. I think, kind of like the tariff, if you remember and even nowadays, when we're positioning for the tariff, the chance of him making a tariff announcement that is bad for the markets, bad for the currency, is greater than the chances of him, making some of agreement or a negotiation. So I think we have to very much approach the crypto headlines the same way, which is, so crypto soared after he announced the Crypto Reserve Fund. It hasn't really done anything further in terms of continuation this morning. But on Friday, the White House is holding its first ever crypto summit. So chances are the announcement will probably be positive crypto, not negative. I mean, of course, maybe it could be, but if we look at the probability, there's a much greater chance that he's going to provide details that's going to be bullish for the markets and encourage investors and traders to get more into crypto. So the point that I want to make is that we should all expect more Bitcoin positive headlines in the coming weeks from the Trump administration, as early as this Friday when we have the White House summit. Now, how does that affect us as US dollar or gold traders? Any wild guess? I want to make sure that you guys are paying attention here. Any wild guess on how this could affect us as US dollar or gold traders? If you don't know, it's fine. You can put a question mark if you want to know. I'd be more than happy to provide more what I think it all means. Let me know. Anwar said this negative. Anyone else willing to stick their hand out and, take a wild guess? Gold will go down according to Raj. Bernardo says no, so that's perfectly fine as well. I'll explain what it all means. And Chuck's wants more explanation as well. Okay, so let's think about this, right? If the US, there's only, a finite amount of funds, although the US could print more funds. But the question here is, how does the crypto reserve fund affect the US dollar and gold? And all of you who answered down or negative is correct, because there's only, if you are an investor, or you are a sovereign wealth fund, or you are the US government having an X amount of assets that you want to allocate to your reserves, by announcing a crypto reserve fund, some of that money has to go into that pot, right? So some of that money that was probably earmarked for gold or dollar or stocks or bonds is now going into the crypto pot. So that is part of the reason why it's probably part of the reason why it's negative for the dollar, and part of the reason why we're probably seeing the dollar trade lower across the board today. And it is also negative for gold, because now crypto is going to be looked at as an alternative investment versus gold. So it's got something that's competing against. And if you are a global investor, or someone who doesn't live in the US, and you're looking at the US potentially putting billions and billions of dollars into these crypto assets, what are you going to do? You're probably going to buy more Bitcoin and less of the other currencies. So as a result, I think that this announcement is going to be dollar negative and gold negative. Now, of course, it hinges upon the size, right? The US has already seized 19 billion worth of crypto, so that could automatically go into the reserves. And so the question is, how much more they're going to buy, and so that will determine how much of an impact it has on the dollar and gold. Right now, we're not seeing much, because, we haven't gotten the full details of it yet. We just got the announcement. But on Friday, when the White House has its crypto summit, more details will be announced, and we'll know more about it then. So that's a big announcement for the crypto world, and something that we're going to get more information on. Is going to remain the headlines throughout this week. Of course, the biggest development and announcement that we're waiting for is not non-farm payrolls on Friday or ECB on Thursday, which it really should be, but instead it's tomorrow. Tomorrow is the date that Trump has given us for the tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China. So what's really interesting this morning is, if we look at the charts, I'm going to share with you my charts, my screen. Let's add that. So let's look at the charts. You will see that dollar CAD, let's go to the daily chart. Dollar CAD did hit a new 1 month high on Friday, but 24 hours before the March 4th date, it's actually stronger. The Canadian dollar has appreciated, and and also, Euro's up, Aussie's up, pound's up, Kiwi's up. The movements in the currency market this morning, along with the rise in stocks futures, tells us that the market has a bit of tariff fatigue. It means that they're getting tired of the tariff headlines. They're becoming a little bit more immune to the shock and awe, and they want to see the real effect. It does not mean that the market has fully priced in the impact of the 25% tariffs on Canada. Absolutely not, because we're pretty much trading where we were at in December in dollar CAD. So under no circumstances does this reflect the market fully pricing in the 25% tariff in Canada. Instead, they're tired of these headlines, and they want to see whether or not it really comes to fruition tomorrow, and how long will it last? Because remember, the last time the tariffs kicked in, they didn't last for very long, right? They were pretty much, pulled back immediately. And clearly, investors, based upon the rise in stocks, the strength of the Canadian dollar, the risk-on mood in the markets in general, are certainly hoping that that is going to be the case again. They're certainly hoping that Trump is going to slap those tariffs on tomorrow and then pull them back 2 or 3 days later, saying that, we strong arms Canada, Mexico, China into doing what we want. And now, I'm going to give them the reprieve and give the market that huge, boost that it wants. That, and whether that happens or not, I cannot say. None of us can predict Trump. And, but what it does tell me, though, is that negotiations over the last 30 days did not go well. The negotiations in the last 30 days did not go well. And Trump is, definitely looking for more from Mexico and Canada. Now, there's another interesting date that could make things a little tricky because Trudeau is probably going to be kicked out, stepped down. And the election or the nomination of the next leader is happening on March 9th. And most likely it's going to be former BOC Governor Mark Carney. So, Trudeau probably wants to leave a legacy. Maybe the legacy he wants to leave is not kowtowing to Trump and, not bending to his will. And if that's the case, he could, the relationship between Canada and the US could remain hostile until, the new leader, probably Mark Carney, takes over on March 9th, which won't be to the following week. Now, it's not a long time, but, maybe he says he's, kind of kicking the can down the road and letting this be Mark Carney or the new Canadian leader's problem. And if that's the case, it could be a week of pain for the Canadian dollar. So the point I want to make is the Canadian dollar is front and center this week. If the tariffs are not suddenly delayed further, or there isn't a last minute agreement or an agreement the day after, chances are, in my opinion, we're going to see dollar CAD shoot further higher in the coming week. Now, it's not just dollar CAD. That's, of course, the opportunity, right? There are also, opportunities in other currencies like Euro CAD that, could present some nice upside too. But dollar CAD is really the one that we'll be watching. Dollar CAD, maybe CAD Yen, which is already sold off, as well as CAD Swiss. So that's one big event. The second big event is the European Central Bank monetary policy announcement. Now, I'm going to share my table. Give me 1 second to share my table with you. Okay, so you should be seeing my table right now. Okay, so this is the table I put together for all of the major central bank rate decisions. And this helps us, helps me, helps you put ourselves into the shoes of the central bank. Now, let me know if you know what the ECB is expected to do on Thursday. Are they expected to leave interest rates unchanged or cut them or raise them? I want to give you a little test to make sure you're paying attention. I can take a sip of my coffee in the meantime. What do you think the ECB? Do you know what the ECB is expected to do? Anwar is definitely on the ball, giving all the right answers this morning. Anwar, you are our MVP. You are, oops, that's Fernando. You are answering the questions all right this morning. Of course, Andrew, BK member, definitely knows what's expected this week because we keep everyone prepared. So the ECB, yes, is expected to cut interest rates by 25 basis points. But take a look at this table here. Do you see more green or do you see more red? And, clearly there's more green than there is red. German retail sales has improved. Eurozone retail sales is down a little bit. Eurozone confidence is negative, but better than the previous month. Labor market conditions are neutral because we had smaller unemployment increase, but the unemployment rate rose. Inflation has actually deteriorated. It's worse. We've seen inflationary pressure slow. This morning, we had Eurozone CPI numbers. They came out stronger than expected, but weaker than the previous month. Overall, inflationary pressures are slowing, and this is a trend that's expected to continue. But on an activity basis, business activity basis, things aren't that bad. I mean, the PMIs were revised higher this morning, which is why the euro is up. The ZOO was better. IFO was better. The trade data was better. Stocks are up. German bonds are up if you go to the bottom of the screen. So on an activity basis, things are not doing so bad. So if you're sitting in the shoes of the central bank, the way things look is, number one, the economy isn't doing so bad. I mean, things seem to be improving for the most part, but inflation is easing, and that it's moving away from their from 3%, which gives them room to cut interest rates. But as a central bank, you have to think forward. And if Trump was not president and the tariffs did not exist, the ECB would probably leave interest rates unchanged and wait to see, how if inflation get closer to 2% and see whether it stays there. Of course, that is not the world we live in. Right now, Canada, Mexico, China are in the line of fire, but we also know the European Union is as well. So as a result, they have to think forward. And that's why, they're expected to cut interest rates by 25 basis points, and the guidance is key. Now, the market is pricing in 2 interest rate cuts by the ECB before the Fed cuts again. The market thinks the Fed is going to cut again in June. So right now we have March, April, May, and then March, April, May, June, 4 months, because the ECB meets before the Fed in June. So in those 4 months, the market expects 2 interest rate cuts, which means that at some point they're expected to pause as well. So I think that the ECB is going to cut interest rates like the market expects and give a data-dependent guidance. Now, what makes this rate decision a little bit more interesting is that this is one of the rate decisions where we get the economic projections. And that's going to be in many ways more important than what the ECB does, because this is what they think is going to happen. They're putting this in real concrete numbers term. They had their staff run their numbers. There's a lot of intelligence that hopefully goes into those projections. And so they're going to give us their inflation projections, which will probably be reduced, and they're going to give us their growth projections and things like that. So that's going to be very, very interesting. So while I think that the guidance could be more wishy-washy from Lagarde, I think that the numbers will tell the real story. And I think that most of the GDP, inflation projections are all going to be lower. So Euro has, this is a daily chart of the Euro. Euro, rebounded towards the end of, the euro rebounded in February. It's up today because the dollar is lower. But I think ultimately, though, it would be very difficult for me to see unless, the ECB is really, pushing the data-dependent guidance and not really changing the projections much. I think euro is headed lower. Also, as you know, Trump, had a very hostile meeting with Zelensky, which means that Europe now has to step up to the plate for supporting Ukraine. So that means more money needs to be spent. That means antagonistic relationship with the US. That means, a lot of potential things that will be more negative than positive for the euro. So from the geopolitical factor, from the economic factor, from the political factors with potential tariffs in the US, all of this means that I still think we could still see parity in the euro, which would be fantastic because, I'm going to Europe in April, which is not, I don't think this is going to happen in April, but the euro should remain weak and head lower and probably be on the 102, 103 handle in the next month. That's my opinion. So we have the ECB meeting. We talked about Canada a little bit, and the other big event is U.S. non-farm payrolls. Now, U.S. non-farm payrolls. Let's just go quickly to Friday. So you can see the market expects non-farm payrolls to rise by 156,000, which is actually more than the previous month. Not so bad. They're not looking for a significant deterioration in job growth. Now, we'll be running our numbers beforehand. We're waiting for a couple of things to be released, like in order to get our true outlook for non-farm payrolls. But we all know that there's a tremendous amount of layoffs in the federal government in the U.S. Also, we know that Starbucks is laying off, Walmart's laying off, private sector, a tremendous amount of layoffs. However, the bulk of this happens in the latter part of February. And they may not necessarily have hit the rolls yet. When we have non-farm payrolls and any of these economic reports, usually the number is based upon the first 2 weeks of the year. And the first 2 weeks of the month. And then it's extrapolated for the next 2 weeks, which is why we have revisions. Because usually these projections for anything like non-farm payrolls, Canadian employment, things like that, it's based upon what happens in the first 2 weeks of the month. And then from that, they extrapolate the last 2 weeks of the month. And then sometimes they're wrong, which is why we have revisions come in. So that is why the market doesn't think, or economists, the high-paying PhD economists, do not think that we're going to see that huge job loss in the month of February. I'm a little skeptical. I think that, we could see some, but it really depends upon how those numbers are calculated. Because sometimes when people are laid off and they get severance, they're actually kept on the payrolls until the severance runs out. So they're not counted as layoffs until then. It really depends upon how they do it. So we all know that the labor market's weakening. The question is that weakness going to show up in this week's data, or it's going to be next month's data? But regardless, it's only a matter of time before it happens. If we get a good non-farm payrolls report, I think people are going to, the dollar will probably rally, but it'll probably end up selling off as traders just think that the number is going to worsen the next month. If we get a weak non-farm payrolls report, the sell-off could be quite ugly in the dollar, particularly against the yen and the Swiss franc. So that is something that's going to be very important. But that's not until Friday. And before that, we've got the tariffs, we've got a whole bunch of other stuff going on. So, that's going to be something that we focus on later in the week. And Boris and I will be live trading this with you on Friday. It's going to be on YouTube, X. Make sure you join us for live trading. NFP, it's always very, very exciting to do that. And, I think it's going to be really great. So make sure you join us for live trading non-farm payrolls on Friday. Now, let's talk about the general outlook for the major currencies. In the front of the week, I think the dollar is going to be up. I think that, and of course, this is predicated on the idea that Trump does not suddenly announce a further delay in the tariffs. If he announces a further delay in the tariffs, then, then I'm no longer bullish dollars. I think that will probably, although dollar could rally against again, I think, a lot of the other currencies are going to rally in relief. But, I can't predict Trump. So anyway, with the dollar, right now, I'm bullish in the front of the week, but I think the non-farm payrolls is going to be bearish. But in the front of the week, as we head into the tariffs, I think it's going to be more there's probably going to be some sort of risk aversion tomorrow when the tariffs are announced, and then the day after. I'm also bearish euros because the ECB is expected to cut interest rates, and I think the economic projections are going to be lower. Sterling is a very strong performer this week. There's nothing going on for sterling really this week. So I think, it's going to obviously trade on the market's appetite for euros, the market's appetite for dollars. For sterling specifically, I think that, short euro pound probably looks pretty good. And then maybe, it seems like Stammer, his visit to the US went really well and has helped the UK stave off tariffs for now. I think, Trump likes the Queen a lot and likes the UK a lot, or the King now. And so he's got, a soft spot for the UK, and there's no immediate risk for tariffs for the UK this week or this month. I'm bearish the Australian dollar because, China has stayed relatively silent on the tariffs, but another 10% is going to be very damaging. And so that's probably going to be reflected in further Aussie weakness as well. The Canadian dollar, I'm bearish. Those tariffs are coming. I think Trudeau is going to play hardball. I think he wants his legacy to be not bending to Trump. And then he's going to let the new leader of Canada, who's expected to be announced on March 9th, which is only a week later, deal with the consequences. And so for the time being, I'm bearish CAD. We also have Canadian labor market numbers at the end of the week. And those numbers are probably going to be softer as well. They were really good previously. I think they're going to end up being lower. I'm bearish the New Zealand dollar, although less so than Euro, Aussie, and CAD, because there's less data that's really, market moving for New Zealand this week. And then I'm also bearish Swiss franc simply because we've had a lot of weaker Swiss data. Swiss retail sales, Swiss inflation, Swiss industrial production, all those numbers have been weaker. But, Swiss franc and the yen this week will only be trading on how the dollar moves, how stocks move, and what risk appetite is going to be like. So make sure you pay attention to that. Now, if we take a look at the economic calendar, we already had a few pieces of data released, and I'm going to run through the calendar. New Zealand had better trade data. Australia had actually weaker data for the most part, weaker inflation data, weaker job advertisements. Company profits were good. Aussie and Kiwi are both up because the dollar's down. I mean, that's really the main story, and stocks are up. Eurozone, we had stronger PMI numbers from the Eurozone as well. Upward revisions in German PMI, also stronger than expected inflation data from Eurozone, but weaker than the previous month. Later today, we have ISM services, which are expected to come in a little weaker. We have President Trump speaking sometime today. New Zealand has building consensus, not really a market mover. Japan has some jobs data tonight, which will be interesting, but I don't think it's going to be a huge market mover. Australia has retail sales numbers, which will be important. But given that we've actually seen stronger job growth, I think the retail sales numbers will be firmer as well. Tomorrow, we've got some ancillary data in the morning. This day is all about tariffs. Headline risk, we'll be watching the news headlines. I'll be helping you guys. We'll be talking about them. I'll be, trying to help you guys analyze what it means. But there's no data, which allows us to focus on the tariff headlines and what comes out of it. And I think, there could be some significant downside risk, unless, of course, there's more delay, which, it can go either way. I've given up on predicting Trump. GDP from Australia, that is probably going to be stronger as well because, we did have very strong job growth. Trade data was good. A lot of, more speeches by Trump. On Wednesday, we get to start to get the more interesting leading indicators for non-farm payrolls, like ADP. That's going to be important, and that's going to be expected to be lower. ISM services, which is also important. The beige book. So Wednesday is when, we start to get we start to take a closer look at how non-farm payrolls could fare. But I still think it's going to be diluted by tariff headlines. And then on Thursday, we have a bunch of ancillary data, but the main focus is going to be the ECB rate decision. Remember, we also get the economic projections from the ECB, and that's going to be just as important. So 25 basis point rate cut expected, along with the economic projections, which will probably be euro negative. We get the jobless claims, which just gives more insight into non-farm payrolls. We get IV PMI, which I would be really surprised if it actually ticks up. And then on Friday is when we have the Canadian jobs data and the US jobs data. And we had a very, very strong jobs number in Canada last month, 76,000. So it's going to be worse. No, it's just a matter of how much worse. Is it going to be 25,000 or is it going to be 17,000 or 50,000? The unemployment rate is naturally going to increase We also have non-farm payrolls, which we talked about already, and how non-farm payrolls is likely to be weaker, in my opinion. But economists are expecting it to be stronger because they don't think that the true effect of the federal layoffs, the private sector layoffs, are going to hit quite yet. That we may not see it until we get the revisions or the data the following month. Technically, we looked at euro again. Euro is rallying, but I think it's going to find resistance right here at 105.50, and I think it's going to head lower. Dollar yen, okay, ignore all this stuff. Dollar yen is rallying, testing this move resistance level here. If we bring in our fibs, you will see that we do have a pretty important fib resistance right at the 20 SMA, 150. I think that we'll probably end up, getting above it if we get some sort of major tariff announcement. But at the end of the day, I do think NFP's risk is to the downside. So we will probably end up a little lower. Oh, I also want to remind you, we are live trading non-farm payrolls on Friday. So make sure you join us then. The link is on YouTube, or we'll coming through the X stream as well. Dollar Swiss, we've got a downward sloping channel, but I am more positive dollar in the front of the week. Dollar CAD, I think dollar CAD, unless the tariffs are delayed again, I think dollar CAD is going to head much higher. Pound dollar, kind of in the range trading zone, and I think it's just going to trade in the market's appetite for US dollars. So I think that it's going to find resistance around 128. Aussie is also rebounding after very, very oversold levels, and the same thing as Kiwi. So we'll have to see how much of the rallies actually extend themselves. Before I open up the questions, I want to share with you something that's really exciting. We're at the cusp of launching our brand new BK Traders community. This is going to be a free community. There's a lot of free things that you're going to get access to. And in the free community, we have many great resources. In the discussion tab, it's going to be everything that we want to share with you on a day-to-day basis. All of my daily market views are going to be posted over here as well. You have direct access to Boris, myself. You can talk to us in the Ask Kathy room. And what's really, really neat is we've got so many valuable trading resources under the Learning tab. For example, we've got resources for beginners, which is going to load up for a second. We also have the FOREX starter course, which is going to be available free to everyone, where, there's a lot of really good videos on position sizing, how to set up your accounts, more details on my zip trading strategies, how to enter and exit trades, trading psychology. So you get access to that, all of these really great trading resources. You also get access to our day trading course that Boris put together, our Monday live broadcast. They're all, archived here. Access to our live day trading, and lots of really, really great information here. And the day trading course also has, very deep information on, how do you day trade futures, whether I should trade futures or CFD, the Boris's BFF scalper strategy. Although I think, there's a typo here, Boris. You spelled basic wrong, so you might want to fix this over here. And lots of really, really great, information here. How to news trade, how to scalp. We're continually adding more to the community to make it more valuable. But in general, we're going to be posting lots of really great information here. It's also going to be available as a mobile app. So everything we want you to know on a daily basis, announcements that we have, break videos that we post, you're going to get all of that here. So look out for that. BK Trader members, we're rolling it out to you first on this morning. So look in your email boxes shortly thereafter for an invitation. And, we're going to rely on you to tell us what you want. But lots of great stuff. And we even have a calendar here telling you exactly, non-farm payrolls is trading live on Friday. This is the link that you should be using to access, all this great, we've got a calendar. We'll put in any special events that we have. So, I think the community looks really great. There's a lot of great information here. And I hope, you all join the free community, take advantage of it, and really interact with us. We're moving away from Discord because there's so many people, scamming using our name on Discord. also, direct messaging people. So we really want to find something that was different, hopefully more secure, with less likelihood of scammers. So this is coming soon as a free community, and for members, you will get access today to help us beta test all of this. Do you have something to say, Boris?
Yeah, I fixed the typo, but I missed my scalp trade as a result of it. That's fine. Doesn't matter. It's about 1,000 shares. Hi guys, I'm very, very excited about the community. I want to explain to you just why this is going to be so cool. All of the information that we talk about all day long is going to be absolutely free to you on a very methodical, lesson by lesson. You can watch it anytime you want at your leisure basis, as well as all of the basic step-by-step instructions are going to be attached to every one of those lessons in a PDF format. So as just an educational resource, it's going to be tremendous. But then in addition to that, as you can see, everything that Kathy kind of tweets publicly on Twitter, and everything that I'm going to talk about on, publicly on Twitter, is going to be centralized in one single macro feed. So market calls, ideas about trading, all sorts of other stuff, that's going to be accessible to you completely free.
And it's mobile, so it's a beautiful mobile app that you can use every day. And
what's really cool is the mobile piece of it has all the courses as well. So you could literally watch those 5-10 minute videos when you're commuting on subway, if you're in New York City, or if you're anywhere outside of the United States. It's just very, very, very user friendly. We love this. It's a great, secure community. No more, no more getting scammed by people in Discord. Everybody who's going to come in here will know that they're going to be in a safe place, and they can talk to us anytime they like. So
I am hoping that it is rolled out to everyone next Monday. This week, we're rolling out to our members because we want a beta test, and we want to make sure that, everything that they want is on there. And, I hate experimenting on people. So we're going to roll it out to our own members first. And then hopefully next week, it's going to go green light for everyone. So it's coming very, very soon.
Yeah, very excited about all of this. And everything will be in one place. So for our members, everything you've ever have, courses, tools, indicators, that's all going to be in one single place. We don't have to go scatter around all over the place, try to find where everything is. Single login. Once you're logged in, you have access to it, and it'll be mobile as well. Very, very excited. We've been working on this for the last month and a half, and can't wait to actually share it with the world. Yeah, I'm glad, Tyra is saying, this is great.
And what's really cool, I haven't fully worked it out, but when there's an event happening, it's going to pop up, I believe, on your phone saying, live market outlook happening, soon, or could email you as well. So there's a lot of,
So all that stuff, where a lot of times, even our own members, where is the login for this? Where is the link for this? I'm trying to get into this webinar. Where's the thing? None of that is going to have to be a question anymore, because it's all going to be right there, on the front page. You just simply click it, come in, and you'll be able to get access to all of it all. Plus, where are the reviews of all the videos? Where can I watch the back videos? Again, the answer to that would be right there in a nice clean tile. Just going to be really awesome.
Yeah. So just be patient. It's coming out to if you're a member, you're getting it today. And then I'm really crossing my fingers, hoping next week we can, next Monday, we'll be giving you all the link to the free community.
Yeah, we are very, very excited. So come on in. And most importantly, by the way, because this is going to be a really, really deep, big site, and it's specifically designed for new people who are interested in learning about markets and learning about trading and literally, expanding their knowledge base. Bring all your friends. We'd love to have as many, just because it's just a free link. You can literally send them the link, and anybody can join the community. So if you have friends, family members, anybody who's interested in the markets, who just wants to get a good read, I have a feeling the market is going to crash big time. We'll talk a little bit of my own macro views in a minute, but I think very soon, all your friends and families are going to be freaking the F out, and they're all going to want to know what to do next. And this is going to be a perfect resource for them to come in and learn about how to control and hopefully, protect their wealth as we go forward. So it'll be just the perfect timing for all of this. So we're very excited.
All right, so I'm going to turn over to Boris, who will shift over to live trading. And I think we answered most of your questions here, and I don't see any new questions that you guys are asking. But otherwise, yeah, we will see you all. For BK members, we'll see you tomorrow. Rest of you, become a BK member or join us on Friday for live trading non-farm payrolls. I'm looking forward to it, so it should be a great session. But there's a lot between now and then, right? I mean, you can engage with me on social media. We've got a lot going on with the tariffs, ECB headlines. I'll keep you all updated as best as I can. So, have a good time with Boris.
Thanks, Kay. Thank you so much. Great job.
So Martin wants to know, for the trading in the free community, can I buy the ZIP strategy? Yes, you will. We're going to actually make ZIP itself much more affordable. And so, many of you will be given access to it. The more affordable version will not include the trade alerts, but we have got a whole library here of videos on how you can trade ZIP yourself. And so, you're going to be able, and we're going to go through it on a regular basis in our VIP session. So, we'll talk about it on Monday. But yes, you will get, a lot of what we do.
Yeah, and it'll be so much easier to access all of it because it won't be scattered. You'll be able to just always get a hold of it. So I'm very, very excited. And also, you can also chat us. That's the beauty. You can chat with us in group, and you could even private chat us in this app as well when you're a member. So it'll be great. It'll be really, really nice. I'm very excited about all of this. Great. Well, thank you, Kay. Thanks again. We're starting the week with a little bit of a up move, but as you guys know, I tweeted a little bit earlier, guys. Hello, hi guys. So as you guys know, I tweeted this. Wait, hold on a second. Let me just remove the move. I think this is going to be the last week to buy cheap protection to the downside. I'll give you sort of my 911 on why I think the market is very vulnerable. There's a lot of reasons. Most importantly, I think irrespective of whatever the new administration is doing, we were due for a correction in the labor force. The labor force has been very, very strong for a very long time, propped up by massive, massive government spending from the Biden administration. And what's the first thing that's happened now that Trump has come in? He's slashed government demand and slashed government workers. And as I've said this before, it doesn't matter whether you think it's waste or fraud. $100,000 salary coming out of the economy 1 million times over will decimate demand. The real estate market in Washington, D.C. had dropped by $150,000 per house. I want you to think about your own house if you're in the United States of America, where this is, or in any Anglo-Saxon country where your house is a massive asset. And I want you to think what you would be like if in 1 month the value of your house declined by $150,000 to $200,000. Would you be happy to go spend money, or would you be hoarding every penny you have? And I think that's really what's going to happen. And I think we may be due for a much bigger correction than people think at this point, in conjunction with the fact that, of course, everything is grossly overvalued, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So we'll see. We'll see if I'm right or wrong on all of this. But I do think you need to be kind of somewhere in the Rockies, says Florida also. I think Florida is also, having a really, really time. I think also Austin, right? I think Austin is having, Texas is generally having big problems. Anyways, real estate is a big asset. Once you don't have the piggy bank from your house, you're definitely going to feel poorer. Whether you're actually going to be poor or not is not the issue. It's just the fact that you feel poor. It means you're going to spend less. And remember, the whole macroeconomic model. This is I still remember this from my days at Columbia University as an economy major. When you basically strip down economics to its core essence, it's this: people feel good, they spend money. People spend money, the economy does well. People feel good, they spend money. It is literally, capitalism is literally a cycle of self-fulfilling expectations. Okay, nothing more, nothing less. Yes. I mean, it's great that we innovate and invent. That's the great side benefit of capitalism, without which no other system in the world does that. But the core of capitalism is actually Ponzi scheme finance. That's really, I mean, it's not, when you look at the world in its true reality, you understand that everything is essentially a vibe session, a vibe feeling, and including money, by the way, which is also just simply a medium of exchange. And I'm happy to talk a little bit about crypto as well. But my point is that I think sentiment is going to get hurt with all of this chaos, and as sentiment comes down and innovation is done. I mean, the great innovation was AI. Now it's going to take 3 or 4 years for that innovation to actually seep its way to the economy. It's not going to be instant. It's not going to be instantaneous. We're not going to have robots, wiping our tushies anytime soon. And until we get to that point, you're going to have a pretty serious correction in the economy, I think, in my opinion. So be that as it may, it doesn't matter what we think. We just trade what we see. And I've been trading actually the long side, because you can see the signals have been to the long side, which is great. I'll talk a little bit about trading in a second. We don't have any signals just yet. Last thing I kind of want to mention is what do I want to mention? Crypto. So crypto reserve fund, which is interesting. It's gotten a huge amount of criticism from people in the crypto space. And let me tell you why. So it's Solana, Cardano, XRP, right? And somebody said it's kind of like having a 2017 crypto portfolio, which it sort of is. And it didn't include Bitcoin inside of it, which was an interesting oversight. And of course, the guy who's in charge of it has a huge amount of all those coins in his own portfolio. So there's a massive amount of conflict of interest that people think about. But the single most interesting criticism of the whole reserve fund was this. When you are the reserve currency of the world, as we are, the dollar is the reserve currency of the world, and we can print it at will, it's not really logical to have a reserve fund, right? Other countries in the world that do not set prices like we do with currencies need to have a reserve fund. They need to have reserve assets as kind of a diversification. But since we are a reserve currency, it's a question of why is this necessary? That having been said, though, by the way, look at Nasdaq. Nasdaq's breaking out, giving a massive buy signal, which we're going to pass up. I'm going to show you. This is going to be sort of a new. I'm just showing this to you. There's a big buy signal. This signal is 62.30. It's a 90-point move, and when we have a 90-point move, and our volatility wrapper is 20 points. By the way, it just went away anyway, so it doesn't matter. But the point is, imagine if this was a buy signal. But in order to participate in that buy signal, you needed a 90-point stop. The new rule of thumb that I use is no go. We pass up. If the volatility is outside of my envelope by twice the amount, sei gesund, as they say in Yiddish, means go in peace. There's 1,000 opportunities that I'm going to do. Remember, there's nothing worse in trading than being right on the trade and wrong on execution, meaning that you're right on the trade and you still lose money on a stop, right? Because what that means is that you didn't account for volatility. Now, you can't always account for volatility, but when the actual candle, the breakout candle, is 3 or 4 times your own volatility parameter, you're a moron to take the trade, okay? You're basically gambling on what should be a 70-30 trade, now turns into 50-50 at best. And you do a few of those, and it's not going to look pretty for your P&L. So that's sort of my own little side riff on all of this. But back to crypto. Ironically enough, and I posted this today, I said that the single greatest use of crypto, and I do not minimize this because this is a massively valuable use case. is that crypto has made it very easy to transfer fiat. And what that means in regular, normal English is anybody in the world can transfer US dollars or euros or anything else. Well, let's say US dollars, because that's really the primary stable coin, to anyone else in a matter of seconds for a matter of pennies, for a matter of dollars, right? I actually did my first Tether. Somebody paid us in Tether. I bought it, then I had to transfer it to USDC. And yes, creating your own wallet and learning addresses and all that stuff is a little bit confusing. Like once you do it and once you see, boom, 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 in, out, into my bank account, I was like, wow, that is really cool. That is really cool because basically it's a complete parallel universe outside of the global banking system that doesn't require all the paperwork and all the procedurals and everything else and the snail's pace to be able to transfer fiat, to transfer currency one way or the other. So ironically enough, I think the greatest value of and that is why, by the way, all of the money all the serious money in the crypto market is actually in stable coins. It's in Tether, it's in USDC, it's in all the coins that are fiat, because that's the truly huge application that crypto is good for now. And that is what's going to stay for now. Now, eventually, if you're going to be able to create great transactional contracts like on Solana, which is a sort of a low-cost transactional platform, if you're going to be able to create situations where you could do trading, like actual, trading of stocks on crypto chains with seamless execution and stuff like that, that'll be awesome. It'll be great when, you could do, seamless house purchases, all that kind of stuff. It's been in conversation for forever. Nobody's been able to do this because honestly, the problem with distributed databases is they're incredibly inefficient. There's a reason why people, it's not like this is a unique idea. Having a spreadsheet in the sky is not something that nobody knew about in 1960s. It's just that the reason why people decided to centralize on a single database is because it's much more efficient as far as cycles go. But maybe we get to a point where computers are going to be, where we get to qubit computers and quantum computers where it's just going to require zero effort. Then maybe that's probably when crypto is really going to take off, is when when quantum computing becomes mainstream. But that's a decade away. Anyways, those are my riffs on crypto and everything else that's going on. From our perspective, what is that? What's the question? Is it not the fundamental principle of modern monetary theory that they're a sovereign currency, therefore you can produce dollars to fund whatever? Yes. So what modern monetary theory, by the way, fully recognizes, although it doesn't talk a lot about it, is there's always a trade-off, right? The thing you need to understand about life and capitalism specifically is that there's always a trade-off. There ain't no free lunch. And the trade-off with MMT is that if you print too much, and the whole idea is the reason you're allowed to print is because people trust that there is value behind what you're printing. The moment they stop trusting that there's value behind the printing, you get inflation. The moment you get inflation, you kind of lose the seigniorage privilege, right? And that is the fine line you got to walk between inflation and expansion. So that's the trade-off. But yes, in principle, you can print whatever you want. The cost of that is if you do too much of it, nobody's gonna take your money. You become Argentina. That's that's sort of like the flip side of it. Question is when quantum computing takes off, AI gets smashed. Tell me why. I'm actually curious why you think so. Just because, wouldn't AI be able to compute even faster? The AI rests on the idea of compute. So do you mean smashed in terms of value proposition? But yeah, I see the drops. Guys. I'm watching all the drops. We just don't have any signals right now. We went from positive bit to negative bit on the open. We don't have any signals. Are we gonna come down and have a little bit of a sell-off right now? Possible. But I'm watching it. By smashed, you mean it's not going to be worth anything, or you mean that less value? Yes, yeah, I agree. I mean, like, in other words, it'll be cheap, but that's a good thing. It means we will have basically the power of a Nobel Physics Prize winner at our fingertips to do whatever we want. Yes, and it'll be able to crack passcodes in no time. I know that. That's as I said, there's always a trade-off for everything, right? All right. Speaking of no trade-offs and free launches, let me see if hopefully this is going to work. Yeah, there we go. Hopefully it's going to work. I just put in a link to everybody to Apex, to my friends at Apex, who have one more day before all those great deals that they have are going away. Let me put this up here. I just want to make sure I get this right. Sorry, just bear with me, guys. There we go. So make sure you take advantage of that, because they're dirt cheap. And as you can see over here, this is the 150,000 account. I am less than $2,000 away from getting this funded. It needs to go to 159. The other one is the 55 account. This is less than $250 away from getting funded, right? So this is the time to get the cheap ass accounts, inventory the living fuck out of them, and then just trade them towards target. And then you're going to have 4, 5, 6 accounts that are going to be funded, and then you can work on getting paid out. That's the way to do it. So take advantage of that right now, please. I'm going to work the 150 and the 50s this week, and get that to target. And then we're going to work the last 50, get that to target. I'm probably going to, and then after that, I'm probably going to do a couple of more. And then once we have about 5 or 6 fully funded, then we'll go to funded trading, and we'll trade funded with you guys. So just wanted to share this with you. So for those of you who are looking at prop, this is the trades that you want to be doing. This is the deal right now you want to be trading. Another thing that I wanted to share with you before we get into any kind of trading, just from a housekeeping point of view, the BFF scalp. Some people have asked me. So this is the V Trader signals. I'll talk a little bit about the V Trader signals. And by the way, just to let you guys know, everybody who's listening to me right now, everybody who's on Twitter, guys, next week, when I'm finally able to invite every one of you into our private, free community, into our community, I have created the step-by-step beautiful 4K video course on BK scalper trading. But not only that, each lesson has the PDF files with the rule set attached to it. So everything you're going to be asking me, where's the rules? How do I do this? I need to understand what this is. It's all beautifully. By the way, all of it done with AI. I'm just fucking in love with this AI thing. That I am the worst slide designer ever, and now it looks gorgeous because it designed all the slides for me. But anyways, my point is that all of the scalper rule set and everything else, everything you've been begging me for, where's the videos? I don't understand what the fuck you're talking about half the time in there because you go so fast. It's going to be there for you. So just give me a week until we finally release it to everybody, and bring all your friends and come into our community and not have it. But for those of you guys who have the scalper, I just wanted to let you know, a lot of people ask me to because some people are using light mode versus dark mode. They ask me for one functionality, which is to make the VTrader labels user defined. So there's a new version called 1.754. This is the latest version that allows you to set your labels any color you want, okay, on the VTrader. So I did that over the weekend as far as functionality goes, and enjoy it, have a good time. Obviously, I'm in dark mode, so I'm keeping those labels clear. Now, here's what I want to tell you about the VTrader labels. It's up to you how you want to trade them. But if you want the best probability trade, in my opinion, you only trade VTrader to the direction of the broader trend. That means, like, if you're looking over here, these are sell traders in an uptrend. These are sell labels in an uptrend. You see, this is an uptrend. Red is blue is below. Blue is above red. We're an uptrend in NASDAQ since 4 o'clock this morning, right? These are sell labels. Some of them work, some of them don't work. I pass them up. I'm only interested in any buy labels. I don't have any buy labels. Right now, we're in a downtrend. I have a buy label. I'm going to pass up on this label, right? I'm going to pass up on this label. Conversely, let me show you S&P. So if you look at the S&P, look at this. So this is a blue above red, positive trend. We have a buy label over here. That's a trade. That's a trade I take. So it's up to you how you want to do this. But I have made a rule to myself that I'm only taking V traded labels, the sharp, sharp V reversal trades only in the direction of the bigger trend. If I can do that, then I'm in good shape, and I take the highest probability trades. So the last thing about that, about highest probability trades, what was the question? Expected? Does anybody? Yes, Adam. Oh, yeah. Where are you? Wherever you are in Europe, they're great. They take everything. They take all the Europeans. Apex is awesome. Apex is using Chicago Mercantile Exchange. There's no, like the execution is the same as if you're using Chicago Mercantile Exchange, because they're using TradeAvate, which feeds directly to the CME prices. So love them. They're great. I'll tell you one thing I love about Apex versus some of the other props that I see. When you're doing in the evaluation phase of Apex, there's just like no bullshit rules. Whatever the fuck you want to do, you can do. First of all, you want 10 lever on a 50,000. Most of the guys I see at 50,000 only give you 5 contracts. These guys give you 10 contracts lever if you want to do. If you want to do like 2 or 3 trades at 10 contracts for a couple of points each and just get funded in 3 hours or 3 days, they're happy to do that. You want to do dollar cost averaging, they're happy to do that. You want to do whatever the fuck you want to do. There's no restrictions. I love it. All these other guys. Even like I don't even think that in the eval they have a what do you call it? I'm losing my mind. When you are supposed to not like make one big trade with like one big trade pays for all. You want it to be I forgot 20%. I'm really losing my mind, guys. Whatever. You know what I mean? Don't have any restrictions on like you could do one trade and get funded on one trade. You don't have to have like 20%. No maximum trade is 20% of the profit. Once you get to funded, yes, you got to trade a little bit more with the rule set. But even on the funded level, the rule sets are just much more much easier, much simpler than some of the other funded accounts I've seen. So I absolutely love them. Yes, absolutely. Go get Apexes. They're a great partner of ours. I absolutely love them. So last thing I was going to say is, hold on a second. I think I might have a trade here I'm looking at gold right now. $1.34. So look, we're looking at gold. This is what I mean about let's stay on the right side of the V. Gold is up, blue above red. We're positive trend. We're actually even super trend. Gold is in green mode. I have a V signal in gold. So it's $1.17, $1.18. I have to wait another minute or so. If this stays, legit signal, I'll take it. Whether it works or not, we don't know, but it's a high probability signal. So this brings me to like my last point, which I had no idea that they invented a term for what we do. But apparently all the props now have invented this term called microscalping. And microscalping is when you go for very small, highly defined short-term targets, right? It sounds really, really fancy. But that's essentially what we do. We look for 1 point in the S&P, $0.50 in gold, 5 points in NASDAQ. Boom, boom, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. We go on to the next trade. These micro scalping conditions, and by the way, you don't have to do this. No, you can easily use my tool for much larger, much bigger trade possibilities. It's just that my personality is very much suited to this kind of micro scalping thing. But once you are focused on micro scalping, it's in consistency rule. Jesus Christ, that's what I forgot. It's really, really amazing at how consistent you can be in your structure. Oh, okay. So let's go. Hang on a second. It looks like I'm going to go to I'm long gold here. Let's see if this worked. Oh, am I in the wrong count? Hang on a second. Oh, I got filled. Sorry, guys. Let me show you. Jesus Christ, it was so fast. I was in the wrong count. I was in the 50,000 account. So let me show you what we did here. Okay. Remember I said to you, we're going to go long the buy because it's an uptrend, and I got long over here at 8896, and it just got filled really, really fast at 90.01. So that's it. That's what microscalping is all about. The key thing that I always tell you guys is I'm always going to tell you ahead of time what I'm doing, because Eugene, thank you. Thanks a lot. Eugene gives in. How does commission affect my microscopic profit? Great question. I pay a fuck ton of commission. I also could give two living F's about it. I'll explain to you why. You're asking, Raj, as someone who owns a real account and for whom real commission is a real cost, right? But if I'm in a prop environment, remember, it's all virtual money. I could give a fuck if I paid $2,000 of commission a day if my net P&L was $1,000 towards my target, right? It might be different if I was in my own account where I paid 2,000 commissions in a day and I had a bad day, then I'd be like minus 3,000 because I'd pay commission in this. But in a virtual, this is the beauty of virtual accounts. I could give an F about commissions, but fair point. I mean, let's look at my commission. Let me show you. It's no joke. Let's see if you guys can see this. Let me see. Are you guys seeing this? Okay. So let's go to, let's go last week, just because this, I don't want you guys to have any misapprehension. Yeah. Was this last? Why is this? Really? Doesn't seem right. Oh, maybe it was. Yeah. No, I had a rough last week. Yeah, that's actually not as much commission as I thought. It's $500 of commissions. I guess my net P&L was 473. Let's see. Wow, that doesn't sound really 614 contracts, and I only paid. That seems like a very low commission rate. I really thought it'd be more. Let's do custom date. Let's go from, I don't know, the 16th to today, just for argument's sake. Wait, hold on. Oh, okay. Oh no, this is not it. I want to do, custom range. That's what I want. Sorry, I want custom range. To today, the 3rd. Yeah, there's a lot of commission. Look at that, $1,600 of commission. Yeah, there's a lot of commission. Absolutely. This is my P&L without fees, and this is my P&L with fees. Yes, but remember, I will say this: a huge part of this was us really working out the micro scalping rules. So you're always going to pay a lot of money to learn how to do it better. So if you look at this, picture right now, right, which looks great, without fees, looks really kind of pretty bad with fees, right? But let's go now to just last couple of days when we really refine this structure. So if I go from let's say Feb 27 to now, much more efficient structure with fees, right? Much more efficient on this. So yeah. And I think I wasn't even. I'm showing you. I know why. This is. We need to go to a different account. I need to go to. I don't have any trades, so anyways, it's fine. Let's go. We were trading the 50 account all of last week. We're trading the 50 account. So let's go to that one for reports. And this one doesn't have any. So I want to go range. Let's go to, just to show you, custom range to, no, custom range to 23 to the, Sorry, guys. Sometimes Trade of Eight will freeze up because I'm using it too much. So we'll have to go. I'll show you tomorrow on the things. But yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. Commissions are a cost, and you have to be realistic about it. But I don't care because it doesn't really matter. You know, it's in the end of the day. Sorry, I just want to be on the right account. At the end of the day, it's all about making your target. I am moving towards it, and it's, by the way, true in your real accounts as well. Would I rather pay $2,000 commissions and have $2,000 of income consistently out of my own account, absolutely, versus paying $20 of commission and having very 1 week I'm up 4,000, next week I'm down 4,000? Yes, I'd much rather take the second condition. But your point is well taken. I just wanted to make sure that nobody's fooled by that. Yeah. But yeah, I wasn't trading because of my tooth problem, right? Which, by the way, thank God is fixed. What hours do I trade? Oh, this is a really great question, guys, because this is something I noticed on the charts that's going to make your life so much easier. Great question. So generally, I mean, I trade whenever I can from about 4 in the morning till about 4 in the afternoon. But obviously, I'm in meetings. It's not like I get to do it all the time. I'm doing it. I trade with you guys 1 hour totally dedicated, 1 hour and a half totally dedicated. But then the rest of the time, it's as best as I can in terms of whether I have time, and Kathy's not bothering me every 5 seconds, and we have meetings and stuff like that. The beautiful part about microscalping is that you can just come in and out. We're not contingent on any time. But here's what I wanted to show you about microscalping that I noticed that is so interesting and so cool. Okay, let me see if I could do this visually. Oh no, it's the wrong thing. Sorry. Is it opt fee? Hang on. I'm trying to put a vertical line. It's horizontal is this, vertical is, yeah, why is it not working? Oh, it's black. Oh, it's black. Okay, sorry. Hang on, where's the color? White. Okay, there it is. Okay. All right, here's what I want to show you. Okay, so notice something really interesting. I'm gonna put the lines over here, right? And I want you to look at the time of when these things are happening. I guess it's a little hard to see it. Maybe I'll just take them off. The main point I want to try to make to you is the signals, the BK scalper signals, not always, but quite a lot of time, happen on the hour to half hour parameters within 10 minutes of the 8:30, within 10 minutes of the half hour, and within 10 minutes of the hour mark, right? So what that means is that, we don't necessarily, when we're close to the hour mark, close to the half hour mark, we can go look at Scalper and look at our trades and say, hey, anything setting up? Because it's within those timeframes. I don't know. This reminded me of this great book called Pitbull by Marty Schwartz. It was written in the 1980s. It's one of the oldest trading books around. The guy was the original retail day trader. He was basically a Wall Street analyst who was just a degenerate, trader. And when the markets went electronic, in other words, they started distributing, data electronically on computers. He decided that he was going to first went to the floor and became a market maker on I think the American Stock Exchange at that point. I still remember the American Stock Exchange when I used to work for Drexel. It was crazy. And worked as an options market maker, and then eventually went upstairs, became what's called an upstairs trader, and traded off the screen. But and it's a great book, and I'm actually going to, I think, write a column about it because there's so many interesting lessons in that book that are 100% valuable to us as retail traders now. But one of the things that Marty Schwartz was talking about, he's the original S&P day trader. and he made millions of dollars eventually trading the S&P pit, is that he used to divide the day into half-hour increments. And he would just, whatever, he had his own, obviously, technical, approach, but he was looking at it like, what happened in this half hour? What happened in this half hour? Did he have, and looking at the scalper, I was like, holy shit, this is Marty Schwartz's point, that the markets essentially burst one way or the other in kind of half-hour increments. So if you're looking, so when you're asking me what time of the day is best, it's the time of the day is obviously New York Open. New York session is the most liquid. That's good. But you can also trade Asia session. But the more interesting point is what time of the hour is best. And you want to be looking for signals on the hour to half hour, because that's when it's most likely they're going to start appearing, right? You see this, like this is, look at this. This is 7:45 within 15 minutes of the half hour mark. This is 8:45, right? This is 6 o'clock hour. This is 5:30 hour. This is 5 o'clock hour. You see how they're all popping up somewhere in this? It's really, really interesting how the hourly mark and the half hourly mark, basically, if you divide the whole day into half hour marks, you will, and you position yourself within 10 or 15 minutes of that time frame, you're going to be able to, to look for signals. Instead of this way, instead of watching the thing endlessly moving up and down, you're like, oh, it's 5:30. Maybe there's some signals. Let's go look. And that saves you a lot of time. So let me know if that helps, guys, because I hope you guys like it. Does that make sense? Yes, no? It's 10. Speaking of the 10 o'clock hour, so it's 10 o'clock hour. We don't have any signals. We do have I have a V shape that I'm going to ignore, a V signal on the NAS that's popping up against a negative trend. So I'm definitely going to ignore that. It was popping up for like a second there, and then it kind of went away. But here it is. You see, it's just roaring its ugly head. Could you trade this? You could, but as I said, trading against the major trend, which is right now it's a sell trend, trying to buy the V shape. So it's great. It's a great counter trend signal, but I really prefer to trade higher probability signals. Although this one may not be so bad because it's already had a big sell off. I mean, the thing that you could do, the beautiful thing about this is that we can trade small, right? By the way, I went back, just guys, to let you know, I went back to, I'm not placing trades on TradingView because it's not that it doesn't work. It works very well, but right now I'm going to be placing all my trades on Tradeovate, and they'll become instantly visible on TradingView because it's just so much easier and cleaner for me to execute. I don't need to, until TradingView gives me instant stop and target conditions, it's just not worth it. So like right now, we're going to take this V shape. If it stays a V shape at 42 seconds, at just a tiny micro level. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, it's going to be a tiny little risk. But I want to show you, we only had one trade so far today. I just want to show you the mechanics of the execution, where you should be on the trade if you get the signal. So I'll try to give you some. That's going to be my rule of thumb, by the way. If I don't really love the trade, I'm just going to take micros on this particular account because I can make that trade back in half a second with a regular position. So 8-9 seconds left. We're going to buy this trade, and we're going to go to the micro. Now you're going to. It was super fast. It was super fast. Again, I'm sorry, guys. It was so super fast that okay, we went in at 52, and we came out at 57. Okay, I made a whopping $10, but that worked. That was actually, by the way, had I waited like another 2 seconds, I would have been now dragging myself down. Right, I actually would not have made this trade. Sometimes you get lucky and. Intra candle, like 5 seconds before the candle closes, the run in the candle itself TPs you on this micro scalp. This isn't, but this trade is still going to work. Like if I was going to come in again, okay, you want me to show this? Let's eat this. I'm gonna eat this again. Oh fuck! What happened here? Okay, let me do this again. Okay, so let's see. Oh, boom, boom. You see, I just wanted to show you. So. But what am I doing? Just kind of you understand mechanically. I'm not fucking around with TradingView. I'm entering on Tradeovate. And by the way, in the free section of my trading course, I'm going to show you how to set up stops and targets in TradeEvade, how to integrate TradeEvade with TradingView, how to do all that stuff that I talked to you about, so you can watch it in peace and comfort of your own home, away from the craziness of the market, because it's impossible if you try to explain it in the middle of trading session. I always get distracted, and it's a step-by-step thing, and I'll even have like a little PDF for you, so it'll be awesome. But basically, the reason why TradeEvade is obviously so superior is because it instantaneously puts stops and targets on everything that I'm doing. So if they run the ladder, I get executed right away. I don't have to go hunt and peck over here for, oh, let me put my stop, let me put my target into the whole thing before I go in. TradingView is like great for swing trades, but it's not quite there for micro scalps that we have. Anyways, that was good. We where am I on the position? Almost at 57. I started the day at 56.9. I'm at 57.2 almost. I don't know how much time I'll have today to trade. But again, our target is 59. I'm going to try to go 59. So okay, so now it gets interesting. Now we're seeing the reversal trade. This is the micro, but we're gonna have to. I'm gonna look at the mini. We're always looking for signals on the mini, and if we don't want to if we don't take the risk, we'll take the micro size. So something. Let me actually show this to you a lot. Where did I see this? Okay, right here. This is a perfect example. This happens a lot. And this kind of a combination signal is something I want you to be mindful of. So this is a reversal. This is, the NASDAQ was positive trend up, and it has a reversal signal here, right? And you go short here. And then literally on the next signal, it's fully reversed into a strong buy trend signal, right? With this combination of I sell short, I get stopped out, and I get a long buy sell signal. This is one of the greatest directional clues you have. This is incredibly high. The probability that this thing is going to reverse and go higher, super strong. So if you stopped on one side, you can do large size on the next trade and have a lot of confidence that you can resolve this trade on the next side. So sometimes you just simply get, you get the reversal and you just make money. But if you get the reversal completely reneged by a trend signal, it's thing. Okay, so we're gonna go. Okay, back to the micro position over here, trying to, and we the reversal worked again. So the reversal worked again. I took a tiny little micro position here, so that reversal worked again. Although, as you can see, ignore the micro stuff, because we're trading, as I said, we're always signaling off of this. Now watch this. This is what I was talking about. Now we get the reversal signal fully. I got very lucky here on the micro. I managed, because it's a micro scalp, I managed to make money on it. But if this thing stays red, now I got a minute 16. If this thing stays red, that's going to give us high probability possibility that this is going to be a short. So I'm going to go half lot. I'm going to prepare myself on this thing for a 57 seconds left. I mean, it's really reversing hard here, right? For the view. $42 seconds, just waiting patiently. We'll always wait for the close of the candle, right? Doesn't matter what you think, doesn't matter how much it goes, doesn't matter how far it drops. Although, having said this now, now this gets too big. Now this really sucks. Now I can't do half lot, because this is 800 to 860. It's a 60-point candle. Now I'm gonna have to go just one stupid lot. I'm gonna have to do small size. Now it's just gonna have to be small size, because the volatility on this thing is enormous, and I do not want to be trading the volatility. This is like a 60-point risk. So I'm just gonna have to go tiny little route. But let's see if I'm still right. I'm gonna sell the, oh fuck, sorry. I went the wrong way. Okay. Okay. That was super fast. Again, let me show you the what happened is I wasn't paying attention. I bought, and then I instantaneously killed that account, and then I sold, and I bought it again, right? And so the sell here was 815, and I bought it back at what did I buy back? Why is this showing? Where's my sell? So let me just look at my report. What I just did here. Sorry guys, it was super fast. My reporting is not working. Anyways, the point was we had continuity. I sold it over here at 16. It went down to 02. It went so super fast that that it worked. If you had done the large, if you just said screw it, I don't care about volatility. I'm just going to take this trade. That would have been $100 right then and there in less 2 seconds. I took a tiny little version of it because I didn't want to get killed by the volatility. So now we go back to NASDAQ and so on and so forth. But you see how the reversal signal here, you sold it at 15, which is exactly where I got in, and it dropped all the way down to 03, and you were only looking for 5 points. Now there's a lot of two-way volatility. Now it's doing a second reversal trade here, which is kind of really unusual. You typically, a lot of times, if you have a reversal and a continuity trade, there's more continuity. Now it seems to be having a reversal on NASDAQ. So we'll see. It's clearly a fight, a two-way fight right now between the buyers and the sellers as the day progresses. But also, by the way, notice what time of the hour is it? It's the 10 o'clock hour. All the price action happened in the 10 o'clock hour. This is like the most interesting thing that I realized is that the signals happen on hour to half hour basis for us. And that's really where we want to be. Oh, I actually got, hang on a second, guys. Now I have an S&P signal. Big risk. So we're going to go small. We're going to go twos on this. Okay. I'm trading small S&Ps. You saw me go long here, and that got filled for a point right then and there. Again, I could have taken the large S&P, but this was 51 to 39. It's like a 10 point range, and I have a $4 maximum risk on the whole thing. But it definitely worked. If you just if you don't care about the vol, if you don't care about the vol stop out, and you're just going to trade momentum, this would have worked really, really well. I just took a small piece of it, and that worked very nicely. So actually, we had like 5 or 6 trades, all micro scalps, really, really fast. All of them worked. Obviously, the key thing here is you requires preparation, tool set, signals, understanding of everything to get it all right. But this, had I traded full lots, this would have been easily $300-400 for us in a matter of half an hour. But the point is, you don't have to. You could make $30-40 of it as you're doing micro positions to get the mechanics right. Once you get the mechanics right, it's like playing golf, baby. It's like or like riding a bike. The mechanics become really, really clean, and then it becomes very consistent for you to be able to microscalp properly. All right, any questions for me? I've been like endlessly talking here. Sorry, what's the issue here? So the dark, you're saying that the dark, it's hard to see my position. It's hard to see my position because they're just super fast today anyways. But yeah, we could easily make it into light mode if you want. If it's a little easier for you, we can take dark mode off. And hang on a second, let me just go. Sorry, it's wrong one. Okay. We can do it this way. I don't know if is this easier to when you see positions, is it easier to see positions against a white background? It's just been super fast trades today. I mean, honestly, it just like the trades have been so fast that it's hard to do anything. Like right now, there was a signal over here that I totally missed because I was playing around with dark mode, light mode. But I'm happy to hold on a second. There's a NASDAQ. I think there's a NASDAQ signal here. Do I have a NAS signal? I just missed it. So there's a second snaz signal. Why is this? This is so weird. Hold on. Oh no, wait, that's so weird. Wait, E-mini NAS. This is really bizarre, guys. It's on the dark mode. It's showing me a sell signal. Why is going on here? I keep forgetting my templates. Oh, I'm looking at the ES. Oh, fuck, I'm sorry, guys. I'm looking at the wrong thing. The ES has it. Anyways, guys, it's easier for me to do dark mode. Wait, that is bizarre. Am I on a 2 minute? Oh, I'm on a 1 minute. Oh, I was like, ugh. I was on a 1 minute. That's why. I'm sorry. I was like on a 1 minute. I was like, why am I so confused? I was on a 1 minute. Light mode is better. Light mode is better, guys. So let's do a little poll. Let's do a little poll. This is dark mode, right? This is dark mode, right? And this is how the dark mode looks. Now we're going to go to light mode. And I'm going to change this to, this is light mode. Do you prefer light mode versus dark mode? Let's do a little poll here. I'll do a poll. Choose. All right. Dark with white bars. All right, I'm leaving it in light mode right now. Just so everybody can decide whether they want to do dark mode or light mode. I don't have any signals in any of these trades, anyways. But I can see how, I guess what you guys are saying basically. And let me just do a. I'm actually going to do a trade, just a tiny little trade on the S&P, right? So we're in S&P. I'm going to go to micro S&Ps. Let's just do this and tell me. I guess it is easier to see it in light mode, right? It's easier to see the position in light mode. Is that what you guys telling me? That instead of the dark mode, it's really hard to see the entries and the stops. I'm going to get stopped out in this position, but it is what it is. Is that the story? I mean, that's fine. I can. This is the beautiful part about the indicators. We can tell this. I guess this is a little bit easier for you guys to see the. I just realized that it is harder to see the lines. So now it got stopped out. So there you go. Now you made me take a stop because I had to demo this for you. Okay. All right, that's fine. We'll trade from from light mode. I have dark mode in all my other stuff. I really like the dark mode as a visualization tool. But if you want to see my trade entries, then because you want to see the mechanics, that's fine. That's fine. Not a problem. Cheryl says she can see dark just fine. Okay. But a lot of people, I think a lot of new people have a hard time. I think dark mode is really for kind of pro traders. So, you know, we can make it. I mean, the beautiful part is it doesn't matter for me. I can go either way. I'm going to go buy this just for fun, just for shits and giggles. Let's see if I can. And there you go. See, now you saw that, right? It's easier to see it in light mode. I needed to get some of that P&L back. Okay, that's cool. Okay, yeah, I mean, I could see how in the light mode for a lot of people who are trading this, it's a lot easier. We have a actual signal here, about a minute left on the screen here with NAS, which is a reversal signal. Not a bad signal. So I'm probably going to take the half lot on this signal. Let's see if we can do this. I got 50 seconds left on the NAS. It's got to hold, and if it doesn't hold, then it's not a signal. So we'll see. Now it's really popping. Still wet. 25 seconds left. No move until we get the completion of the candle. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're going to go to the micros. And that got done. So I think the problem, guys, is this. And there's nothing I can do about it. You just have to, when it comes to, first of all, I'm trading very, very small units. You guys just going to have to accept on faith, and you accept it after the fact. The rule that I'm using is you absolutely need to use the big contract for your signal, right? And so I'm always watching the big contract for the signal. I guess maybe I could switch to the micro when it gets, that deep. But I'm actually entering on the micro side. So when I switch over to the micro side on these super fast trades, you're just hearing order filled, on both sides, because it's just moving so fast. But I will try to. The fact is, I actually have the big contracts on the other screen, so I can always pull back and not do it. I guess I'll just, when I'm doing a micro trade, I'll just try to keep it on the micro screen so you guys can actually see the entries. But that's part of the problem today, was that these trades are so fast. I'm using the signal on the mini, but entering on the micro, and that's, by the time I'm in and out of the micro before you can even see it on the screen. But anyways, all good. I think where are we at now? 234, right? Not bad. And day is done for me for right now. But remember, 10:30, probably in about 10, 15 minutes, we'll try to see if there's more signals. And the next signal window will be between 10:50 and 11 o'clock, somewhere around there. So look for those half-hour signal windows, because that typically most of those signals are going to be coming in within a half hour. That I think was really, really cool to discover. All right, let's see what the poll is for everybody. Where's my poll? Oops, hold on a second. Sorry, guys. Where's my poll? What happened to my poll? Huh. Hold on. I don't see my poll numbers. All right. I'll look at the poll numbers in a minute. Maybe I can look it over here. Hold on a second. For some reason, my other screen went off and I can't find my poll numbers. I mean, this is this is what this is what always drives me nuts, is I can trade or I can produce a show, but I cannot fucking produce a show and trade at the same time. And so if something is going to suffer, it's going to be production versus trading because nobody gives a shit about how good the show looks. People only want to know how good you trade. So my apologies for a second trying to figure this out. Where the fuck is this thing? Because I don't have a producer in the background who does all the shit work for me right now. So I can't find anything. What's going on over here? Hold on a second. All right. Why is this not here? Where am I live? Where's my... Oh, here it is. It's finally popping up. Okay. Light mode takes it. 60-40, guys. So we're going to go with light mode. That's the rule of the crowd. And we're going to go with the crowd. So I'll trade from the light mode from now on. So you guys will be able to see it. Geez, you can see like a lot of activity here, guys. We actually did a lot of activity today. Not bad. Not bad. Okay, my friends. A lot of fun. Let me put the final Apex thing here. Do not forget to go get some Apexes right now. Get some great discounts. And let's all work towards the funding target. We're just a couple of $1,000, a couple $100 away from each one of them. Let's see if we can do it this week and get to our target. Microscalping is the official term of what we do. And it's working great. All right. Everybody enjoy. I'll see everybody tomorrow, same time, same station. Thanks very much, guys. Anything else I need to see here? No more new comments. Okay. Enjoy, guys. Everybody have a wonderful day. I'll see everybody tomorrow. Thanks a lot. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.